I have this theory that the people who do the hat on in the weird direction and the right up there with the people who do the weird lip piercing, which is they're fucking with you. Like, it's antisocial. First off, it's saying, here's how most people wear their hat. I don't wear my hat that way. I wear it in a super uncomfortable, unattractive way that does nothing for me, and it shades the side of my neck. It does not keep the sun out of my eyes. It doesn't keep the hair out of my face. I will fuck myself up. It's right up there with I wear my pants somewhere around mid-crack line, like about half ass crack mass, like my balls died and my pants are flying at half crack. Like, first off, you think it's comfortable to wear pants that are around your fucking hips?
How can you even walk like that?
If a fucking car came around a corner, you'd get run over, and I'd be the first one cheering, by the way. Yeah. No, it's not comfortable to wear your hat. I wear ball caps all the time. They're sort of shaped to fit your head, which does kind of have a direction to it. It's
not just sort of.
Yeah, it's not a beach ball. It's got a little shape to it. And the hats and the caps are made. When you pull them sideways, it's kind of like wearing, it's like wearing underpants where you're going to, stick a leg through where the waist would go and put the leg up around your waist. Like, it's fucking uncomfortable. Now, that's uncomfortable. Also, having multiple hoops through your lower lip. I do not believe aids in your eating, lovemaking, your speech and debate class. It does not help you get a job.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you do anything.
Could help with ziplining.
It's a very subtle way and not so subtle way of going, fuck you. I'm uncomfortable. I want you to feel my discomfort. I want you to feel discomfort. This hat, it's an apparel equivalent to you having a booger that's going in and out of your nose as you laugh like a piston, or you having a piece of broccoli on your front tooth. It's fucking me up. And I know, but the broccoli and the booger you're unaware of. The hat you're in charge of. And you know what you're saying. It's antisocial. It's fuck you. And the lip thing, it's forcing me to go, ow, that looks like it hurts. And then I have to do what if that got caught on something? And then I do that, what if you're eating one of those little mini chops, those little lamb chops? It's like appetizer, you get sauté. You get the sauté spear, and it like somehow goes through there, and it pulled away or something. Or
I'd actually managed to never think about that. But now I feel yucky.
Now you're forced to.
Yeah.
Right. This is an antisocial, fuck you, think about me, and this. And there's a million versions of it. There's a million. There's a tattoo version of it. There's a piercing version of it.
There's a hair color version.
I'm going to wear my hat. I'm going to wear my hair. I'm going to take the fucking baffles out of the pipes of my Harley so you can hear me. There's a hear me, look at me, see me, feel me thing. And my thing is, just fuck off.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Well, don't consult your doctor, because he's not going to do you any good. You might as well consult your lawyer. That's what we did. That's right. What is that? What is that saying? We're back. That's right. You got it tuned to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. It is Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2015 at, yes, sirree, 3 p.m. Eastern. And I guess that means it is time once again, yes, for the one, the only coffee and cigarettes, the Wednesday Grinder. Yeah. It is. So there. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. Lots to do on the big program today. We're playing catch-up here. Supreme Court justices ruled today that pregnant women are every bit as equal as anybody else. There you go. Well, okay. And a mother who kept her dead kids in the freezer is now in custody, thank God. Also, the Mars Rover has completed its 11-year scan and offers us up the results today, while the FBI is still keeping the 9/11 file open. Why? Interesting. Also, we'd be remiss in our duties here at HTLO Radio 1 New York if we didn't mention that today was Sarah Jessica Parker's birthday. She turns 50 today, if anybody cares. And things heating up on the old campaign trail as Jeb Bush resorts to personal attacks in his campaign. That's a little stupid, isn't it, for a Bush? Yeah, well. And, of course, today we welcome our newest guest /host /Terminator to the team, the one, the only Arnold Schwarzenegger joins us in the coffee shop. So come on in and grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up. It's coffee time. Welcome back to the show. Of course, it is Coffee and Cigarettes, your Wednesday grinder. Brought to you, of course, as always, and everlasting, by Tim Hortons, New York City. Now with 8 fine locations in the city to serve your coffee and baked goods needs and give you a little bit of Canada, eh? Don't you want a little bit of Canada? Well, you American pigs, you might think you don't, but trust me, you do. Yes, when it comes to things like education, we're leading the way. Yes, up in Canada. Yes. Just think of Canada as the special forces. Think of them as the Rangers. Yes, they're the SEAL teams. Yes. Because Canada gets it right, doesn't it? No. Well, okay. I'll just let that go for what it is. Great show today for you, and as always, the one, the only Jenny McCartney in the booth with us today, pushing those buttons, making us go on that PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer. Check out all their stuff, because it's just stellar, at PreSonus.com. That's right. And now, I am pleased, very pleased, after you kill the music, Jenny, let it go. There we go. Mm-hmm. Good, thank you. Letting it go here is the one, the only Jenny McCartney. And yes, today's show is, of course,
powered by Procast.
Yeah, it's powered by Procast, in case you didn't know. We don't pay electric here. We pay Procast. That's right. What does that even mean? I don't know. Well, anyway, welcome back. We were on a brief hiatus, I guess we'll say. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, something there. Yeah. And no, it wasn't my heart again. I didn't, have a heart attack or something. But anyway, suffice it to say, long story short, who gives a crap about me? Let's get on with the show. And oh, what a show we got for you today. Now, first off, I'm going to introduce our guest /host /Terminators. And Louis, I bet you have never been referred to as a Terminator before. But Louis is joining us live via satellite, because that's the way he likes it, of course. All the way from the west coast of Canada there, up there in Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada, up on Vancouver Island there. Right from Mill Bay Studios, the one, the only Louis Lawless of LDL Films, director extraordinaire. Are you there, sir?
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
I can't, but I think our one of our guest host Terminators can help you with that.
All right, go a half an hour. Do I get $50,000?
You'll have to talk to him about it.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Okay, well, there we go. And moving on, of course, over to the East Coast here. Mm-hmm. Back in the old city that I love to love, or whatever you want to say.
Yes.
Yes, there you are. Is the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried, sir. Thank you for showing up again today.
What the fuck?
What?
I'm ready.
Well, good. I'm glad to have you here. And
I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Absolutely correct there. I'll go with that.
Yes.
And, of course, joining us from his spacious, sprawling, mansion in somewhere in Los Angeles, California, is the one, the only Arnold Schwarzenegger. Governor, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm not going to complain about it, right?
No, you shouldn't. No. You should be glad to be here, and you kind of say, well, thank you, Chris, for being here, or letting me be here, all that stuff. Yeah, I'll get to the job. Yeah.
Well, I think that it's a very difficult thing to answer because, in a way, even the day when I won the 7th Mr. Olympia title, I felt like, I was not in great shape.
Olympia.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Glad that you finally made it here. And, just glad to have you here. Can you're living in L.A., right? Somewhere in the offshoots there? Yeah. And would you... I have to ask this. It's a listener email question for you. Would you actually live anywhere else?
Never, no. Because I'm very happy with where I am. I love Southern California.
Yeah.
I was born for Southern California. Okay. And I love the energy in Hollywood. I love the danger in Hollywood. The psychological danger.
The danger, yeah. Danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah. We can pretty much all absolutely agree on that one.
Fantastic.
You bet. So moving on, I guess we'll get rolling with the show here. And how this works, Arnold, is I go through the top stories of the day kind of dealio.
Yeah.
And then I go to you guys for some commentary and all that kind of good stuff. So
I don't think that they need to do anything at Christmas time. I think everyone should just enjoy themselves, eat and drink, and have a good time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
Well, I don't know what the hell it is I said. Oh, I guess it's because I was doing the impression of you. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the beauty about having you on the show. I don't have to keep doing the impression. Yeah. Thank you, Gilbert. Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, moving along here, gotta get to what's whattin' here, gang. So today, the big news, the big story, of course, is that the Supreme Court justices say that pregnant workers can seek accommodations. Yeah. Okay, Washington. Pregnant workers can claim the same accommodations that employers grant to large numbers of similarly restricted workers. A divided Supreme Court ruled today. Ooh, who else would be a similarly restricted worker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yes.
Well, while indicating that getting pregnant isn't automatically a ticket to light duty at work, the court ruled 6-3 that United Parcel Service could not deny a pregnant worker accommodations it made available to large numbers of other workers. The 6-3 ruling, written by Justice Stephen Breyer, was not a complete victory for former UPS driver Peggy Young or pregnant workers like her, but it tossed out an appeals court decision that backed up UPS and sent the case back for further review, with Young's side bolstered. Plaintiffs such as Young can win their employment discrimination lawsuits, Breyer said, if they can show that the employer's reasons are simply not strong enough to justify that burden, but rather give rise to an interference of international discrimination. So we have to have representatives from all countries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the UPS case, Peggy Young was denied light duty as a driver because her pregnancy was not the result of an on-the-job injury. Is that what they're calling it now? Of course, I guess, Arnold, your maid suffered that kind of on-the-job injury, didn't she? Yeah. Yes, well, we won't go there, will we? Are you going to get married again?
I'm married. Yeah, I'm not divorced yet.
Oh, okay. We'll just give it time.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that,
you'd be pretty screwed. I gotta say, you're absolutely screwed. Yeah. Well, the company's policy, since liberalized to accommodate pregnancies, called for treating pregnant women the same as those injured outside of work. Two lower courts found that it did not run afoul in the 1978 Pregnancy Discrimination Act, which says that pregnant workers should be treated equally to those who are similar in their ability or inability to work. So I guess if you're just effing moody, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. You see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. It's absolutely nuts.
Well, let me tell you something. It's all crazy.
It is. It really. Yeah. Samuel Baganestos, Young's lawyer, nevertheless, called it a big victory for women in the workplace. The court said, the court made clear that the employers may not refuse to accommodate pregnant workers based on considerations of cost or convenience when they accommodate other workers. Women's groups applauded the ruling. The court has put employers on notice. Pregnancy is not a reason to discriminate, says Marcia Greenberger, co-president of the National Women's Law Center. The court says that if you accommodate most non-pregnant workers who need it, but most pregnant workers who need it, you may be found guilty of violating the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, or the act of discriminating against pregnancies. Yes. Or the act of discriminating against making pregnancies. I don't know. All Young wanted in 2006 is what her doctor recommended, tasks that required lifting no more than 20 pounds rather than the 70 pounds her part-time job as a UPS driver called for. But she was forced to take unpaid leave without benefits. Young left the company in 2009. Her lawsuit seeks back pay and benefits. UPS changed its policy this year to provide pregnant workers who seek this type of disability accommodation, Young sought, and it issued a statement Wednesday claiming partial victory. Quote, UPS is pleased that the Supreme Court rejected the argument that UPS's pregnancy-neutral policy was inherently discriminatory. The company said, instead, the Supreme Court adopted a new standard for evaluating pregnancy discrimination claims without ruling for either party and sent the case back to lower courts for further consideration. Well, across the nation, more than 6 in 10 women who give birth were employed during their previous 12 months, making Young's case of critical importance to them. Recent years have seen a trend in the favor of pregnant workers. Congress amended the ADA in 2008 to include pregnancy-related lifting restrictions as a disability. At least 9 states now require employers to accommodate pregnant women. Similar laws are under review now in half a dozen other states. So there you go. You know, they want equality. They want to come and get on the job and get paid 70% less.
Yeah.
And, of course, now they want to lift 70% less.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
What's that, Arnold?
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know, actually, because you're former governor of California, I know that you actually have a pretty firm stance on feminism. And can you go into that a little bit?
I think that the need stems from that partially because I think of the women's liberation. I think that the women's liberation had a lot to do with it because they have, men have felt, especially in America, to a certain extent powerless because women kind of have taken over the power. And I think that there was a reaction to that. But now, of course, it has changed because now the people are back kind of to a normal situation where women realize, that it's not just about going out and getting the equal job and the equal pay and all this, that there's something also nice about being a woman and being in touch with being a woman and raising a family and make that the ultimate challenge because women have not really made themselves ultimately happy with all the kind of things that they have tried. And I think that I was the the benefactor of all of those things in a way of, the guys felt very insecure about all that stuff. They all ran to the action movies where they could see a guy kicking butt and being in total control of himself and the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got to say that I'm 100% behind you on that. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Where do we draw the line, I guess, is my question. I mean, here's a little wet fur. Here's a little thing I like to do. Since when? Here's the question. Since when do companies have to, essentially rewrite entire policies about how they do business because women are on the scene now? I don't get that. They wanted equality. Well, equality is you go to work and you earn your pay and you pay your deductions and your dues and everything else like every other man out there. That's equality. I don't understand this. Well, and now I need a concession because I'm pregnant. Well, what is that? That's not equal at all.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life. Yes.
Yes. Well, Gilbert, I hate to break it to you, but you're not a woman. Yeah. I know. You do make 70% less than me. Yeah. Yes. Well, there you go. I mean, that's it right there. I just don't understand that. That's why I don't understand feminism, because they apparently want, and then we give, and then they want more, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's just part of being a woman, right? They just take and take and take.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Oh, yes, Gilbert. No, we're not going to do that right now. We're actually going to go for our first commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to talk to you about the mom who reportedly told police she killed the kids that are sitting in the freezer. Back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
I remember when I was running for governor, and we had this press conference, and one journalist thought he was really going to be tough on me, and he was going to catch me on something. He says, Arnold, tell me now, didn't you smoke dope in the 70s? And I said, yeah, and I inhaled it too. Well, legal or not legal, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's what I did.
Well, there you go, yeah. Legal or not legal, that's what I did.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
I don't know, legal or not legal, Gilbert, I'm thinking there's a slogan there.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. You'd let him have that, right, Arnie?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the big show today. Coffee and cigarettes, the Wednesday grinder, of course, for this Wednesday, 25th of March, 2015. 45 degrees right now in Central Park, and it's actually sunny. People aren't dying out in there from freezing to death.
Which woman are you married to or living with now? The same one? The mother of the daughter, or was it a boy?
I'm a hermaphrodite.
Yes.
Actually, I just do myself. I found it was safer.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Oh, see, we're not going to do this again, are we? Because I told you, I've never had a radio show in Chicago, Gilbert.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Yeah, I bet we did. We probably smoked some weed, didn't we?
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway, pants zipped up, there was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by, who was staring at us, and you turned around, and, he was a, what? What's your problem? And you said, you don't give a shit.
Well, yeah. All right, calm down, God.
So I could see you feel very uncomfortable talking. Now there was another time.
No.
You were when I know you're very secretive about your drug problem.
Well, I am, but with you around, I don't need to worry about that. I just I don't.
Now, here's a story I'm sure you're tired of talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be remiss in not bringing it up, and that's when you beat up a transvestite.
Well, we've all got to have a hobby, right? Just gonna.
And another time, you were gonna buy drugs from your pusher, and you were like a block away.
Yeah.
And then somebody walked up to your pusher first and shot your pusher.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut. Always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Well, and not only that, but, I've got the wherewithal, Gilbert. If somebody shot my pusher, I would just go and find another one, right? And here's a question for you. How come, you use terms from the 1950s? What? It's not pusher anymore, okay? No, it's not. It's dealer, yo.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. And I know, Governor Arnold, you've got quite a bit of experience with those 400,000 then gang members in California. Yeah. Well, you just can't get stuff like this anywhere else. This is just radio gold right here.
And I remember, and this is why I feel I have a real connection with you.
No,
because in the alleyway. When that's the beginning.
Yeah.
She bent over in the alleyway, and you inserted yourself.
Oh yeah.
And then she started to blow me, and my erection was kind of a semi-erection because I kept looking at you. So when you're standing there, trying to get a blowjob and looking at really hard. And then I remember...
God.
I had a hotel room. So we both went up there, and you went first.
Of course.
You were my opening act.
Yes. Yeah. I'm your opening act. Yeah. Well, I don't know where you get this stuff, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to put you on the spot, Gilbert. I'm going to take you out tonight in the big city here, and we're going to do everything you just made up. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
Yes, Louis. Yes, we had him on hold on the commercial break, so you got the music there. Arnold, just before I move on to the big stories here again this afternoon, what are some of your best roles, would you say? I've always been interested in this because, I've been a big fan of yours for forever, and I'm anxious to hear what you would say are your best roles out of everything you've ever done.
Well, I think that Terminator, Twins, True Lies, and now I have to say End of Days also, because End of Days, obviously, because of the complexity of the character that I've played.
Complexity of the character, End of Days, really? End of Days sucked. I'm sorry.
When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, but okay. Well, it's different for you, I guess, because you've got a vested interest in these films.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're not going to say that. But God, I got to tell you that was like the worst POS of all time.
Yeah.
End of Days. Yeah. And anyway, sorry not to make fun of you.
Never,
no, I would never do that.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I would just a little bit, but anyway, moving on here. It just never ceases to amaze. Trust me. A mom reportedly told police that she killed her kids, and they're over there in the freezer. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Well, the mother of 2 children whose bodies were found dead in a townhouse's deep freeze Tuesday confessed to killing them. According to a person familiar with the investigation, the source said Blair told police that she killed her son, 11, first, and then her 15-year-old daughter later because, quote, she was more of an effing handful. Yeah. Well, the grisly discovery was made yesterday by a crew that had come to the home to evict the family. Police said that the mother was taken into custody in another unit at the same complex as a person of interest in the case. No formal charges, criminal or otherwise, have been levied as of Wednesday morning. The mother was identified by neighbors as Michelle Blair, 35. Court documents obtained by the Free Press show Blair has 4 children, ages 8, 11, 15, and 17, with 2 different men. Blair was arrested on suspicion of child abuse, and police intend to submit information to prosecutors for charges Wednesday or Thursday, Detroit police officer Jennifer Moreno said. Child abuse? No, they're dead. Nah. That's not abuse. It's actually murder, I think. Yeah, well, as you can imagine, this is a very complex case. At a news conference today, Detroit Police Chief James Craig said that the case continues to be an active homicide investigation, and he did not take questions from reporters. He said the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office will be performing the autopsies within the next couple of days after he thaws them out and gives them a quick basting. Yeah. Craig asked for privacy for the 2 children who were taken into protective custody. I guess that's the 8 and the 17-year-old. They've been through a lot, as you can imagine, he said. The 2 children hadn't been seen for so long. Neighbors have trouble remembering their names. The 11-year-old and the 15-year-old are remembered as well-mannered and well-behaved. But when other kids went outside for school or to play in the low-income housing complex just east of downtown, the children didn't join them. Quote, I've been staying down here my whole life, and I never saw them outside to the point where I thought that they'd actually moved out, says Rocky Ashford, 18, who lives in a neighboring townhouse at the Martin Luther King, hint, hint, apartments. Yeah. Yeah, well, I say that because, the mother is black. Yeah. Yeah, she's black, and Black Lives Matter even in your grocer's freezer. Yeah. Court officer Lee Gordon said her crew entered the home at the Martin Luther King Apartments on Tuesday to clear the property. Just inside the door, she said, was a small deep freeze. When they opened it, she saw a body, she said. Gordon said the body she saw in the freezer had a black plastic bag laid on top of it, and there was frost on the face of the person, who she thought, at first glance, was an older woman. Quote, I'm really sickened now to find out that it was babies, Gordon said. It's not an easy pill to swallow. Well, don't put it in your mouth. Yeah. Well, Craig said the bodies appear to have been frozen for some time. Assistant Police Chief Steve Doland said it's possible that they had been there for more than a year. The Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office said it has to let the bodies thaw naturally. The bodies are still frozen, and we don't have a microwave big enough. The autopsies are tentatively scheduled for tomorrow. Spokesman Ryan Bridges said today via email that autopsies can't be completed while the bodies are still frozen.
Really?
I just love these county representatives coming out to state the truly obvious. We can't do a post-mortem when they're frozen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the 2 children hadn't been seen outside the house for years. Carol King, who said she's been friends with Blair far more than a decade, said she wasn't quite sure of the names of the younger of the 4 children. She said the kids were homeschooled and that the mother wanted to protect them from potential abusers in the outside world. Yeah. I think she accomplished that one.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Both tanks. You bet. Well, King said she wants to help the mother, who can be, quote, the sweetest thing. Yeah. And has the, quote, heart of an angel. I'm sorry. I can't believe this. A heart of an angel murdering her kids. Yeah. You know, it's that public opinion that really...
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Yeah, that whole England thing again, yeah. Well, on a Facebook page believed to belong to Blair, a post was made in January showing an image with the words, quote, "There is no greater blessing than being called Mom." Oh, and on the page, it also says, quote, "Loyal to my babies."
Yes.
Yeah, you bet. You're loyal to your babies down there at that Martin Luther King development. Yeah. Oh, I hope she gets the death penalty. She's off to 2 more potential rap sensations. Yeah. Yeah, the world is never going to know Busta Rhymes and Freezy.
Yes.
Yeah. Busta Rhymes and Freezy. Well, moving on, the Mars Rover. Yes, NASA news. The 11-year mission and marathon scan on Mars is now complete today, and we've got some new details just released. Yes, there's no such thing as too slow to run a marathon. After all, it took a Mars rover about 11 years and 2 months to travel a marathon-length distance across the red planet. NASA's Mars Exploration Rover opportunity surpassed the marathon mark Tuesday, having traveled a distance of 26.2 miles on the surface of Mars. This is the first time any human enterprise has exceeded the distance of a marathon on the surface of another world, says John Callis, the Opportunity Project Manager at NASA's JPL in Pasadena, California. In a statement today, he said the long-serving rover displaced the previous record holder for the greatest distance traveled off-planet, the former Soviet Union's Lukenhod 2 moon rover. There you go, Lukenhod. Yes. Well, the mission isn't about setting distance records, of course. It's about making scientific discoveries on Mars and inspiring future explorers to achieve even more. This says Steve Sturges, Opportunity Principal Investigator at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. In a statement, he says, quote, "Still running a marathon on Mars feels pretty cool," end quote. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the scientific stuff here. Come on. Opportunity is one of 2 rovers that launched to Mars' surface in April of 2004 by NASA. The other rover, Spirit, stopped functioning in 2010. That, of course, was the Microsoft rover. Opportunity completed its 3-month prime mission and went on to discover evidence of liquid water on Mars throughout its explorations of the Eagle, Victoria, and Endeavour craters. The landmark represents yet another step in Opportunity's long-term mission of exploring the Endeavour crater, examinations of which have provided information about ancient wet conditions, less acidic and more favorable for microbial life than an environment that left clues found earlier in the mission, according to NASA. To celebrate the achievement, the team of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory plans a marathon-length relay run in the lab next week. Wow. These are the greatest minds on the planet, huh? Yes. Ancient wet conditions, less acidic and more favorable for microbial life. Was that actually what you discovered on your maid, Arnold? Yeah. It's great that you're still married, though. I gotta say it. You know, I absolutely. It's amazing. You know, through all the ups and downs through your marriage, I'm just shocked and appalled that she's still with you. You know. But there are a lot of ups and downs, I guess, in any marriage. Well, I'll take mine, for example. I'm just smarter about it, and I don't bang the maid. Yeah. Well, tell us what you feel about that, Arnold.
I mean, Hollywood is not pretty. I mean, there's some cutthroat going on there, and it's a very dangerous place, actually. And, you know, it's in anything, if you want to be the best, you have to really fight for it, and you have to struggle and have to go through your ups and downs, and you fall often. And it's not just like all victories. There's a lot of defeats and then victories again and defeats, and you pick yourself up again and get up and get going. And I'm very fortunate that now, after I've finished the governorship, that I've done 4 movies, and now Last Stand is my first action film where I'm starring in it.
Right. Well, and actually, I saw that film a while back there, and it was a good film. Good film, got to say.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I guess we'll go with that. Well, back when you were a kid, the whole thing that kind of led you to where you are today was a dream that you first had, right?
Well, it's just I went way beyond my dreams. I mean, I had dreams to do win the world championships in bodybuilding as more often than anyone else, and to become the best of all times.
Right.
And then I wanted to get into movies, but I was thinking more like to do what the predecessors did, like to do Hercules movies. But then I had no idea that I'm going to go as far and actually do action movies and do comedies and the work, and so many different types of films, and to do as many films, and then to get into politics. And that was definitely not part of my dream.
Yeah, that was a big freaking mistake, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, and what would your parents say? When you're a kid, it's kind of, parents are kind of, dude, what are you doing?
Well, I think whenever you do greater things, it's unusual.
Yeah,
it's strange. It's weird. I mean, that there are very few people in the world that does what you do. If you would have told your parents when you were a kid, that's what I want to do, I'm sure your parents would have said, I don't know your parents, but they would have said, honey, why don't you just go to school and relax?
Yeah, well, go to school and relax. I don't think anybody on the radio really needs to go to school.
Yeah.
No, because it's...
Look, we always had fun. I think that no matter what you do in life, if you do bodybuilding or if you do hosting a show like you do here, you got to have a good time. Forget about it. You got to be passionate about the job that you have and go all out.
Well, we do have a good time, don't we, Gilbert? Yeah.
To me, I always was the kind of guy that enjoyed working out 5 hours a day, but when I walk out of the gym, that's it. And I wanted to play, I wanted to have a good time.
Yeah, well, geez, I think you should probably get together with Gilbert and go do some partying in the alley. Yeah. Did you like that, Gilbert?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
Never. No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, never mind. We'll move the hell on. What the hell am I doing? I've completely lost my place here. Damn it. And it's important, too, because next up on the old hit parade here at Coffee and Cigarettes this afternoon, Jeb Bush. Yes, he's slinging the personal crap, blasting Obama's schoolyard antics with Israel. Now, call me crazy, but I don't think any Bush should open their mouth about anything about schoolyard antics. No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good thing at all, but we're going to get into that as soon as we come back from our next commercial break. So back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out.
7 in the morning.
Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Murph.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee.
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Well, I know.
You gotta dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here. You would have loved the guy. Never drank, never smoked, did drugs, nothing. He had only one obsession, and that was the women.
He just pitied the fool, and yeah.
If you think that you were clever with women, he wouldn't stand a candle with this guy.
Well, what can I do? You know, it's just nuts. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. It's all crazy.
It is nuts. Arnold, absolutely. And when Gilbert, accuses me of shooting or having my pusher shot or something.
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. 200 members that vote on it, and you have to give them a DVD now.
Yeah, I know. They always want those DVDs. Well, welcome back to Coffee and Cigarettes on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. The Wednesday Grinder, of course, was this Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2015, and it's 43 degrees now in Central Park, and it's raining like a mother. So say goodbye to the sun, and that's just it.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Well, I know you do. And, Gilbert, of course, he's a whore for doing it just like you.
I've been on enough radio shows to know that in the middle of an answer, the guy is like checking the boards and looking over notes and talking to other people. Yes. See? Now you're impressed.
Yeah, of course. Totally impressed, my friend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Gilbert, actually, I screwed up at the beginning of the show because I was
so excited about the Terminator being When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
It's kind of, if you say that, it's kind of exactly how you say it because that's what I just said. You know.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to move on now.
You know, I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not going to complain about it, right?
No, you shouldn't, because, my impression of you, sir, is the best you are going to find anywhere, pound for pound, dollar for dollar. That's the way it is. Yeah. There you go. So let's get going now.
Everyone was basically, laughing at me, at those ideas, and which was okay for me because there was one thing that I had that is a very clear vision of my goal.
Well, and it's good to have vision.
Yes.
But the same token, you don't want to kind of go overboard.
Yeah.
And I think when you did, what was that? I don't know, that stupid doofus in New York, your Arnold Strong movie.
Yeah.
No. See, and I know that before you did that movie, before you did that first stupid, horrible movie, I know that you didn't need the money. You were already a millionaire by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why the hell did you do it?
Well, first of all, you have to understand my mentality.
Oh.
I love feeling like an outsider. I never want to be one of a million. If I wanted to be one of a million, I would have never got the body that I got.
True.
It's always easy to be smart in hindsight and to look back and say, that was a mistake. But it doesn't help you. I mean, I think the important thing really is to learn from those mistakes and then to move forward in a better way and in a smarter way. Because to me, life is short and you want to pack in as much as you can while you live rather than just exist.
Okay. Well, I'm sure tonight Gilbert will show you how to pack joy into every moment in that alley. Yeah. But if I had known you personally back then, before you took that job, I would have read through the script, looked at you in your eyes, and said, "No fucking way." It's time to move on.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right. Geez, yeah, I am kind of going overtime here. Well, screw it. You know what? Here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go 90, yes, we are, 90 freaking minutes. Yeah.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Well, I know.
You got to dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here.
Oh, I'm going to dispense the love. I'm going to dispense that love.
When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
Well, when you say it, it's to your maid. Come on.
Yeah.
You're married, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, married means don't fuck other women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
No, you wouldn't ever do that. Ever. Probably again because she cut it off. Yeah. Well, moving on. Jeb Bush, yes, the personal attacking mouthpiece of the 2016 campaign so far. Well, because we don't know anybody else really, and Hillary hasn't said yay or nay, and we don't have a freaking clue. Jeb's the only one up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, today he's blasting Obama for his quote schoolyard antics with Israel. Care to talk about GW? Yeah. The only president who couldn't open the doorknob and walked right into the door. Yeah. Well, and that's something, see, when you have a president, a sitting president who gives his little speech and then walks off camera and pulls on the door that you push and walks smack dab into the door, you're not really instilling fear in the terrorists.
Yes.
You're just not. And I think when a country like good old USA here, when we have a man like that representing our nation, well, that's just never going to be good. No, It's not. And anything he said after that was just a waste of time.
Yeah.
It really bothers me that people like you and I, Arnold, who weren't born here, can't run for office because, you know, we could do such a better job than that, you know?
You know, it's always easy to be smart in hindsight and to look back and say, that was a mistake. But it doesn't help you. I mean, I think the important thing really is to learn from those mistakes and then to move forward in a better way and in a smarter way.
Okay, Arnold. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you then. Never do Hercules again and don't touch another maid. Okay. Well, Jeb Bush criticized President Obama today for damaging the U.S. relationship with Israel and for mishandling negotiations with Iran to thwart its nuclear ambitions. He says, even though my brother walked into a door, that should have no bearing on... No, actually what he said is, quote, this is no way to treat an ally, Bush said about Israel in the National Review op-ed. Conducting the foreign policy of a great nation requires maturity and a strategic sense of America's long-term interests and the ability to get through a door. Well, the likely GOP presidential candidate's commentary comes a day after Bush distanced himself from remarks made by former Secretary of State James Baker, one of his many foreign policy advisors and a longtime family friend. Baker had criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a speech Monday to J Street, an advocacy group that calls itself the, quote, political home for pro-Israel, pro-peace Americans, end quote. In his op-ed, Bush decried the Obama administration's half-hearted congratulations to Netanyahu upon his election victory last week, and suggested that they were part of a pattern of diplomatic scolding of Israel. He also charged Obama with threatening to, quote, downgrade the U.S.-Israel relationship and permit a series of anti-Israel resolutions to pass the United Nations Security Council without firm American opposition. There has been long simmering tensions between Obama and Netanyahu, although the president on Tuesday described their relationship as businesslike. The president said, I often search the web with Netanyahu. The Obama administration is reevaluating the U.S. approach in dealing with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in light of Netanyahu's recent comments. The Israeli prime minister has since walked back a comment that a Palestinian state would not happen on his watch. But Obama, a Palestinian... continues to question Netanyahu's commitment to a two-state solution for peace. The White House has not said what re-evaluation might mean, including how the Obama administration might react to a Palestinian bid for statehood via the United Nations. The possibility seems very dim for Israelis and Palestinians to live side by side peacefully, Obama said Tuesday. Well, that only took them 2,000 years to figure out. We can't continue to premise our public democracy and diplomacy on something that everybody knows is not going to happen, at least in the next several years, he said. Republicans have seized on the U.S.-led negotiations on Iran's nuclear weapons development and the threat Iran poses to Israel as the latest example of what they consider a stirring foreign policy missteps by Obama. The issues tied together have become immersed in the fledgling presidential race as candidates seek to establish their bona fides to be the next commander-in-chief. Again, with that brother who can't get through a door. Well, there he is. Now, moving on today, I'm going to tell you this. We're sitting here at 4 p.m. right now, and I'm getting the word. I got some unhappy corporate people, and piss on them. Moving on with the show here, we're gonna continue the show because, quite frankly, Jenny and I and the rest of us here just aren't done.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll an extra bonus 30 minutes, and for many of you already do know, but perhaps there are new listeners out there who don't know. Our show was canceled actually at the end of last week, and it was canceled I'm going to say it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to. Yeah, because I feel that I have to. We were canceled because of public outcry in this fair, lovely city of ours that, well, it's promoting cigarettes. Yeah. So here's a little thing for you. Number one, we don't and have never on this program rolled a single ad for tobacco. We have not. And even further to that, I'm going to light one up right now. Right here. Now, it should be noted in the beginning, I guess the first week or so, was it, Jenny? Yeah, it was the first week. I lit a cigarette. That was the actual start of the show. And it was just a little thing I tried out, see if it worked. Hey, what the hell? Why not? No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a big deal because, of course, everybody's writing in, oh, he's smoking on the show. He's smoking on the show. Well, yes, I'm smoking on the show. HTLA Studio 2 is a smoking studio. It's probably the only one left in North America. Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably the only one left. But the more important thing is we don't advertise cigarettes on this show. And don't tell me we couldn't. Oh, yeah, Marlboro? Yeah, you'd be all over us, wouldn't you? Yeah. I don't know. What's some other American cigarettes? L&M? Or,
yes.
Yeah? I don't know. I only smoke Marlboros. But, and you see, that's not an ad or a drop. See, I'm not, no. Well, I guess it is technically because we're on the air. Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, whatever. The point is that the higher-ups at HTLA decided to cancel the show because of cigarettes. Yes, because it's just, you can't smoke. Well, here's the thing. Now, on Saturday, many of you don't know this, and I realize that I'm breaking from the format of the show. Well, I'm breaking from the format of the show, just going an extra, 30 minutes.
Yes.
But we got to get this out because this is important. And we had, I got absolute shout outs, kudos, thank yous to Devlon Crawford, Tom Grote, Greg Howe, definitely big proponents of the show. They wrote in and they convinced the management at HTLA to reinstate the show and get us back going here and get Arnold with us all together and kicking butt. So absolute thank you for all of your email and mails and support and everything to keep the show going. We do sincerely appreciate it. Jenny, well, she wasn't looking forward to working in the alley. But I was looking forward to visiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
I mean, you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over.
Well, Arnold,
Yes.
the reason is, Arnold, is that the difference between you and I, well, actually, I don't think so, because you're European, so you probably do lay down the law at home like I do here, but I can say things like that because, well, I own my wife. Yeah.
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 Yes.
That shouldn't get us any hate mail whatsoever. So just to get that out of the way, thank you, everybody. Greg Howe from St. Catharines, Ontario. Tom Grote, Langford, British Columbia. Fairly close to where Louis is there.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Okay, all right, fine. I'm moving on. I just wanted to make sure that I took a little time out to mention all the listeners because we do appreciate them here incredibly. And, well, I mean, let's face it. If we didn't have them, we'd be sitting here talking to ourselves. Yeah. So, as I continue to smoke my unnamed cigarette and talk with you all here, I'm going to continue on the stories of the show. We'll continue to your regularly scheduled and rehearsed format. Actually, not regular scheduled because I'm overtime. Yes, okay. Well, the 911 investigation, and yes, that's not the phone number. That's September, 9/11. Yeah, September. Yeah. What the hell was the date again?
Yes.
Was it the first? No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure, I'll go with that. Well, the file is still open. We're in 2015 now. And the investigation file is still open. 14 years, actually, to be exact. After the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, a disagreement is persisting within the FBI over whether others inside the U.S. had advanced knowledge of the operation and supported the suicide hijackers. This is a new special commission has found this. The commission, mandated by Congress to assess the FBI's continuing anti-terror capabilities, said the FBI's 9/11 investigation into a potential broader conspiracy remains open and active. And I guess that means that all the conspiracy theorists out there for the last 14 years who have said that they were helped by aliens are still happy because the file is still open.
Yes.
Yes. So the agency director, James Comey, with acknowledging the inquiry was, quote, still alive, said there's no evidence that so far that unknown others assisted in carrying out the most deadly terrorist assault in American history. Quote, we have no credible evidence that there were additional assisters or funders, the director said. Aspects of the continuing inquiry, the largest in the Bureau's history, was outlined in a 127-page report which concluded that the FBI has made measurable progress in dealing with the evolving terror threat. There is an urgent need to further develop its ability to collect and analyze evidence. I would say so, because if 9/11 only got a 127-page report and the torture report was 670 pages. Yeah, I'd say they got a little more work to do there. The report highlighted a significant gap between the articulated principles of the Bureau's intelligence programs and their effectiveness in practice. The Bureau needs to accelerate its pursuit of its stated goals for intelligence as a matter of increased urgency, the report found, and the use of the use of torture will be Well, despite differing accounts from one associate of the hijackers, Modar Abdullah, who allegedly once bragged that he knew in advance of the hijackers' plans, the commission did not recover anything new that would alter previous conclusions that there was a broader conspiracy in the U.S. before the 2001 attacks. The commission also re-examined pre-9/11 activities of American-born radical cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, who just recently moved to Milwaukee. And, in the aftermath of the 2001 attacks, Al-Awlaki had been questioned about the Al-Midhar and Al-Hazami on their visits to San Diego mosques, where the cleric once preached. He was not detained at the time and left the country shortly after, where he eventually rose to prominence in Al-Qaeda's franchise in the Arabian Peninsula, McDougal's. You gotta love McDougal's. And that's all there is there. So they're leaving it open. They're just going to leave it open.
Yes.
We're not going to do anything.
That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, ever tell you guys that I always had this really deep, heartfelt fascination for Sandra Bullock? Yeah? No?
Yes.
No. Yes? No.
Never.
Not you, Arnold. You don't know about this, but God, I love that Jewish woman.
Now, how did you find out that Sandra Bullock was Jewish?
Well, actually, you look at her nose, you know. She's a gorgeous girl, but one look at that profile, and it pretty much gives it away.
Yes. Yes, but how did you? And it would be a Jewish wedding, of course. But how did you find out that Sandra Bullock was Jewish?
Well, okay, I'll admit it. Besides looking at the old profile,
yes.
I went down to the New York Public Library there, and sat down and read some books, and did some research.
Yeah.
And, as time went on, I accumulated more and more evidence of the fact, and, I just put two and two together, kind of like Jericho in End of Days.
Yes.
There you go. Just a little investigative work. That's all, Gilbert.
So, because I always thought she admits to being German. Oh, yeah. That's, or I don't know if but like her mother was a big German opera star.
That's correct. I did know that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, Arnold knows all about the German opera stars.
Yeah.
Say. So, So there you go. I'm just going to leave it at that, I guess. Moving on, Russia unveils plans for a Europe-U.S. superhighway. I'm not kidding. Plans for a new high-speed transport corridor that could potentially link London and U.S. cities by rail. Wait a minute. Since when is London part of Russia? What? Really? Oh, okay. Yes, link London and U.S. cities by rail and superhighway have now been unveiled. The idea, dubbed the Trans-Eurasian Belt Development, or TERP, Belt Development, RP, whatever, it doesn't make sense to me, would see a 12,400-mile high-speed railway and freeway built from Eastern Europe, oh, I see, across Siberia and over the Bering Strait to Alaska. Well, that should be some, Palin will love. Yeah. Oh, yes, Russia's just right over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Russian train is just right over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at least she'd be a little more accurate, I guess, with the Russian train being just over there. Yeah. Well, the idea, dubbed the Trans-Eurasian Belt Development, would see the 12,400-mile high... I read that already. Vladimir Yakunin, head of Russia's state railways, told meetings of the Russian Academy of Sciences that the project could link existing networks and supercharge global economic growth. It would also feature oil and gas pipelines to connect Russia's petro industries more directly to the Western world. This is an interstate, inter-civilization project. It should be an alternative to the current model, which has caused a systemic crisis. The project should be turned into a world, quote, future zone, and it must be based on leading, not catching technologies, he said, according to the Siberian Times. The plan was developed by a transport boss alongside a rector of Moscow State University, Viktor Sedovinsky, and academic Gennady Osipov. Alaska is already connected to the contiguous U.S. states by superhighway through Canada along the Alaskan Highway, though there are no existing passenger rail network or indeed oil pipelines. The Alaska Highway links to the U.S. interstate network, which can take motorists to all corners of the United States and beyond. Really? I did not know that. Yeah. You mean like the roads actually connect and you can drive all over the states? Yeah?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Wow. In Eastern Europe, the European Union is separately drawing up plans for a high-speed rail corridor to connect the Baltic states to Western Europe's high-speed rail network, which runs through the English Channel Tunnel from France to London. North American passenger railways are comparatively underdeveloped. However, plans drawn up by President Obama, of course, Obama to develop high-speed rail corridors across the United States has, of course, stalled amid opposition, but fracking goes right through. Yeah. Well, any bridge would likely connect the Chukotka Peninsula in Russia to the Seward Peninsula in Alaska. and could be supported by 2 small islands that are in the middle of the strait. The Russian government has expressed public support for a number of proposals in recent years, but ground has not been broken on any of them. China and Russia also unveiled a separate plan last year to connect Moscow and Beijing by high-speed rail, as well as a plan for a continent-spanning rail network that could cross the Bering Strait. And if all this happens, we won't need no planes no more. Well, listen, we're going to go for another commercial break just because I bloody well feel like it, and that's the way it is.
Yes.
There you go. I'm firm in my decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right, well, I'm going to move on. We're going to go for that 2-minute commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about the Afghan president warning of Islamic State danger. Send more money back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we can
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
They changed my name because they said Schwarzenegger, no one can pronounce. So, what is it, Schwarzenschnitzel or whatever? From now on, your name is Arnold Strong. Of course, we did this for one movie and then I changed it again.
No. I don't know. You should have left it the way it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arnold Strong. Arnold Strong.
Here we go. I'm going to try this.
Welcome back. You're listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York. New York's best talk.
Yes.
I'm your host of Coffee and Cigars. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Yes.
It's 43 degrees in Central Park right now, and it's raining is pissing down.
Well, whatever. Hey, you gotta love it. I love it. Don't you? Please, Arnold, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Yeah. No lawsuits, please.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA. Oh, HTLA.
Right.
Hell is that?
Oh.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Well, if you didn't, Louis, I'd think that there was something wrong.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right. Well, we'll move on. Just before the break, I told you about the Afghan president who's warning of Islamic State danger. Keep the money coming. Yeah. Well, the Islamic State is attempting to establish a foothold in Afghanistan, says President Ashraf Ghani, warning today in an address to Congress. The militant group, which has seized large swaths of Iraq and Syria, is already sending advanced guards to southern and western Afghanistan to push our vulnerabilities, Ghani said. Ghani also thanked the U.S. military and ordinary Americans out there for supporting Afghanistan in its efforts to defeat extremism and establish security. Yeah. I wonder if the U.S. military that have served in Afghanistan and have taken part in training those bloody morons over there for their own police. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to move on now. Thank you for staying with us. Yes. Ghani addressed Congress a day after President Obama agreed to slow the withdrawal of American forces from Afghanistan, saying, I don't care about votes anymore, so yeah, keep them there. Nearly 10,000 U.S. troops are remaining in Afghanistan through the end of this year and probably into the next decade. Yeah. Well, Ghani pledged to remain a partner with the United States, quote, or else you might pull all your troops out. Yeah. It's no wonder why the hell you got out of politics, Arnold.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ghani also praised the expanding role of women in Afghanistan, where millions of girls now attend school. The Taliban, which ruled the country before being driven out by a U.S. coalition after September 11th, 2001 attacks, barred girls from school. I just want to clarify there, in the 70s, it was the U.S. that put the Taliban in. Yeah. Okay, just clarifying there. Still, the challenges Ghani faces are a largely rural country where most of the population is illiterate or formidable. He has pledged to fight corruption and continue to support the education of women? Yeah, it says right here he's going to support the education of women, but he has struggled to establish a unity government. I wonder why. All right, all you Taliban Muslim friends, we are going to give women equality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he wonders why he has a problem with his country. Well, at the urging of the U.S., Ghani agreed to form a government with Abdullah. Yeah, say it 5 times fast. his opponent in the elections last year. However, key government positions remain unfilled. Ghana said that the two have political differences, but they're committed to building a unified government. Just not today. He says, Abdullah and myself may not initially agree on every issue, but we both believe deeply that spirited debate and rockets will produce better outcomes than will confrontational stalemates, he said. We must thump him first. Well, a former World Bank official, Ghani represents a sharp contrast from his predecessor, former President Hamid Karzai, publicly criticized the conduct of the U.S. troops and refused to sign a bilateral security agreement that cleared the way for continued presence of American troops in Afghanistan. So Obama just got rid of him, yeah. Really? You're going to vote down what we Americans want? Well, you're out of there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, since taking office last year, Ghani has signed the document and pushed for delaying the pace of U.S. military withdrawal from his country. During his visit to the U.S., he has made a point of thanking U.S. troops. Earlier this week, he visited the Pentagon and Arlington National Cemetery. I wonder if they talked back to him at the cemetery. Yeah. Quote, we owe a profound debt to the 2,350 servicemen and women killed and the more than 20,000 who have been wounded, both physically and emotionally, in service to your country and ours, Ghani said Wednesday. Ghani has lived in the United States and sprinkled his speech to Congress with references gleaned from his time here. He's sprinkling. This is good. Quote, I ate corned beef at Katz's, New York's greatest, meatiest, pickle-lined melting pot, he said, referring to the legendary deli. Well, that's great. So we're over there fighting, dying, getting blown up, losing our arms and legs.
Yes.
And you're over here having a frickin' corned beef. Yeah. Okay. All right, well, move on to that before I kill somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's see. More good news for the planet Earth, that is. It has just 2 giant forests left. Yeah. Yeah, see, you're all quiet now. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. 2 giant forests. Yes, to see the Earth's ecology forest for its trees, first we have to acknowledge there aren't many large intact forests around. In fact, according to new studies published in Scientific Advances, there are only 2 such continuous forests left, one in South America and one in Africa. There are really only 2 big patches of intact forest left on Earth, the Amazon and the Congo, and they shine out the likes from the center of the map. Study leader Nick Haddad tells The New Yorker, the rest of the wooded areas on Earth are fragmented by everything from roads, man-made developments, to natural events such as wildfires. About 70% of the world's forested areas are situated within half a mile of actual forest edge, per the Monitor. The result of so many fragmented habitats is ruinous, notes The New Yorker. This study found that the broken up areas on average lose half their plant and animal species within 2 decades. Once a forest disappears, the resulting area is more exposed and experiences greater extremes of temperature, humidity, and wind. To make things worse, Dr. Levy adds, intruding species find their way into disrupted habitat as well. All is not doomed, though, because fragmentation often happens very slowly. It's possible to reconnect these forest clumps by planting linking trees, Levy says. It's never too late to preserve what we already have. But, of course, we've got a better chance of having an intercontinental railway from Russia to the USA. Yeah. Well, in a final note today on the big program, as it's now 4:30 and I've made my point and run 90 minutes, so screw everybody.
Yes.
Sarah Jessica Parker, New York City's own, is 50 and fabulous, apparently. Yes, happy birthday, Sarah Jessica Parker, the Sex and the City star who recently launched a self-branded shoe line has turned the big 5-0. Well, how do you feel, Sarah? You're 50 and you've finally launched a pair of shoes. Well, gang, I'm afraid it's the time to go. Louis, thank you for coming as always. It's been great having you.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
I'm afraid I do. Yes, I do absolutely know how to spell your name on the check. Don't you worry. I'm all over it. Gilbert Gottfried, thank you for being on the show again today.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Yes.
That was very nice of you. And of course, the one, the only, the Terminator, the Schwarzenegger, the Governor. Thank you for coming on the show. We look forward to many, many fine shows with you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and I'll be back.
Of course you will. Yes. Well, on behalf of myself and Jenny and the Coffee and Cigarettes crew here at HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk, thank you, listeners. Thank you for putting us back on the air. And thank you for tuning in every day. We love each and every one of you. Have a great day, and we will indeed catch you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the Thursday Double-Double. Don't miss it. Have a great day.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.